Center part of the U-joint. It is also known as a cross. It's got 4 trunnions on it, which the bearing caps slide onto, like so. Now for reassembly. For reassembly, we prefer to do it this method, which may not be by the book. But this method allows you to put each end cap on and keep the bearings contained to lessen the chance of actually dropping the cap with all the needle bearings inside. You need to find a socket that is slightly smaller than the bearing cap, in which we can stick in the vise and press that back down. Go down to about where it gets snug, take it off. Now we're going to put one of the snap rings back in place. Make sure you set it in the groove versus all the way down, like so. Now we're going to put the other side bearing cap on. When you do this, it's good to make sure that the cross is centered so you don't catch the needle bearings and possibly have one fall down and in, or tweak or crack the bearing cap. What we did here is we just used the vise to clamp it down so it was flush, so it's easier to line up the socket. Now we're going to push it back and you'll feel it snug up in most cases, and that's usually when you have hit the snap ring. So now we're going to take it out and put the other side snap ring in place. Make sure the snap ring is seated fully. Now, if you were to pick up the drive shaft and attempt to move the cross, it's going to be very stiff or difficult to move. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a rubber mallet after we put the shaft in the vise. We're going to line up the cross so that's sitting just on the edges of the vise. And then we're going to tap it, making sure to tap where we ain't going to damage anything. Because in most common today's drive shafts are made of aluminum. It's very important to tap it on the weld. Otherwise you risk damaging the drive shaft. Now, if you go to move the cross, you can tell it moves a lot freer than it did before. Now we're going to install the yoke back on the drive shaft. Now that we have the U-joint all together, the yoke all ready to go, we're going to tap the yoke to help allow for more free movement. Like so. And now we're good. Ta-da! That there is an assembled
But first,
shaft.
this is how it's supposed to move, all free and easy. That Joe failed to mention and wanted to end because of this failedness.